As much as we love the ready-made stars of Haaland and Mbappe or the Wonderkids like Gavi and Endrick, it's not always possible to sign those guys, but it should be possible to sign the players we're showing you in today's video, because today we'll be focusing on some of the best bargains of FM23. None of these guys are Wonderkids, they are players for right now in your team, the ones to go out, sign and make a difference. I imagine you won't have heard of a fair few of these, so get your notepad out, let's run the intro and get right into it. Welcome to the video everyone, I'm Jake for FMSCOUT, and as mentioned we'll be taking a look at the best bargain players of FM23. All of these guys are at different price points in different leagues, so hopefully there'll be a few of these available in your save ready to contribute, and with that being said, let's get in to player number one. One final thing before we start actually, let me know in the comments down below your favourite bargain of FM23, that way we'll have a big list in the comments that everyone can come check out as they start up their saves. Starting off in the goalkeeping position, we have got two goalkeepers who represent very good value for money. None of these guys are going to be Donnarummas or world-beating goalkeepers, but they're definitely worth the fee that you'll have to pay to sign them. Jack Butland is our first choice. He's a goalkeeper with England experience who has some decent attributes still and a decent current ability rating. He's 6'5", he's played at the highest level but now does not get too much game time. He is a backup at Crystal Palace where he has not done much, but this guy used to be a Premier League mainstay back in the day and what many considered the future of England's goalkeeping position. 29 isn't old for a goalkeeper, he's got years left yet and he's certainly worth that 1.5-ish million pounds that you'd need to pay to sign him. Our next player is even cheaper, the goalkeeper Tim Ronning, who plays for IF Elfsborg out in the Swedish divisions, a massive keeper at 6'7", great jumping reach and aerial reach. He's a model citizen, which is the best personality you can get in FM, and he's got some great goalkeeping attributes to go alongside it. A very small price to pay. Don't judge the star ratings in this video too much because I'm Chelsea here, so these players are being compared to some of the best players in world football, but for a lot of clubs it would be hard to find a goalkeeper much better at this age for this kind of price. If you do find this video useful, don't forget to smash the like button, it really will help in video performance and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. And just to the right of that is the subscribe button, make sure you hit that so you don't miss any of our videos. We are doing 2 videos a day at the minute during this release period of FM23. Just to the right of the like button is the subscribe button. If you smash that, you won't miss any of our videos. We've got 2 videos a day coming out at the minute during this release period. And final thing, in the description is my own channel where we have a save going on with Leicester. You guys have been absolutely smashing it with the support over there. A lot of you saying you've came over from FMSCOUT and are really enjoying it, which is great to hear. If you haven't checked it out yet, we're only 2 episodes in, come check it out in the description. I would massively appreciate it. Back to the video though, we've got a lot of players to get through. I won't focus on each one too much, but now we have a Mexican international right back, a 23-year-old by the name of Kevin Alvarez who plays for Pachuca out in the Mexican First Division. Not much more to say about this guy other than the fact that he's perfectly well-rounded, can do the defensive job and the attacking side of the game just as well, no real weaknesses, and he's only going to cost you a couple million pounds at the age of 23. Very hard to go wrong here. Moving on to the opposite flank, it's a similar situation for the 24-year-old Uruguayan international Matias Oliveira of Napoli. He's only recently joined there, but supposedly they will accept £5.2 million. Very well rounded yet again, great work rate and a brilliant player to have bombing up that left hand side. If you'd like someone a little cheaper though with very similar attributes, the Spanish 24-year-old Ian Munoz of Real Sociedad would not be a bad choice at all. Playing for a good team in La Liga fairly regularly as well, this guy would be a great choice to have at left back, even as a backup at a very big team. And rounding out the left backs, we finish off with the Italian 23-year-old who plays for Cremonese, who are a team in Serie A. I didn't know that. I didn't realise they were in the First Division, but there you go. This is Emanuel Valeri, a left back who can play anywhere along that left hand side, either left wing back or left midfield. A good personality, very determined, good physicals, mentals and very good technicals too. Again, it's another player where it will be very hard to go wrong with him. Let's have a look. Ask agent about availability, and you can see here probably about £5 million would be enough for the club to accept an offer. Whether he'd want to join you from that point is another question, but certainly worth keeping an eye on. Don't laugh at this centre-back option. I'm telling you, this guy has actually got a very high current ability rating and very high attributes for his position. It's the 30-year-old ex-Arsenal player Shokdan Mustafi, the German international with plenty of experience, still has a few years left in the tank at around £6 million. It wouldn't be a terrible signing. Injuries might be a little bit of a concern, as would be his composure, but he's a good passer, a good tackler, good in the air, very well rounded physically. And if you're in a pickle and looking for a centre-back for a couple of years, Mustafi wouldn't be the worst choice. Another good choice at centre-back is the 21-year-old Andrea Carboni, who will cost you about £5 million. Now, he plays for a club that will appear as Brianza without a name fix, but with a name fix should appear as Monza in the first division of Italy. He's not a ball-playing defender by any stretch, but he can definitely do the defensive side well, can also play fullback if needed, and has got plenty of years left in the tank at only 21, with room to get better still. Another Italian 21-year-old, this time it is Salvatore Esposito of Spal, who are a team in the second division of Italy. He can play central midfield or defensive midfield pretty well. Physicals nicely rounded with great natural fitness, determined with plenty of great mentals, and his technicals are good too. He can tackle, he'd be a good box-to-box midfielder, maybe a good ball winner considering he's not got a very high finishing, but he's certainly a decent option. £6-7 million by the looks of it would get this deal over the line, and much like the last guy we looked at, he's got plenty of room to get better and improve as your squad improves too. Okay, we're doing well, we're about halfway through, so smash that like button for us to show your support, and we're moving slightly higher up in midfield now to an out-and-out central midfielder, a 26-year-old playing for Malaga in the second division of Spain by the name of Alex Febas. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that first name, but this guy actually looks like a pretty good option. You can see he's quick and agile with very, very good mental attributes. Not one of those is lacking, and actually most of them are 13s, 14s, if not higher. His technicals are nice too. He's not exceptional in any area there, but he does the job and ticks most of the boxes you'd want. It looks like he'll cost you £3 or £4 million, and if we're taking the Spanish divisions as an example, he's definitely a top division player, not a second division player, so get him whilst you can. Maybe one of my favourite options in this list, and one of the more complete players that you can sign, is Andrea Franco of Porto. The 24-year-old Portuguese national looks great and can play a variety of positions, but being left-footed, ideally I'm not sticking him on the left-hand side. I like my players to cut in, but also keeping him so far back in the midfield seems like a crime with that finishing. So maybe an attacking midfielder, potentially even a shadow striker. I'm not sure. You guys figure out what's best for you. Physicals and mentals look good, but it's his technicals where he really shines. A great dribbler, corners, crossing, finishing, first touch, free kicks, passing. His technique is awesome as well. Good vision. This guy looks like a very good choice. He has only just joined Porto for £3.4 million, so whether he'd be interested in a deal is another question. You can see Porto would want £8.6 million, but I reckon wait this one out a little bit, keep an eye on him. If he doesn't break into the Porto first team, you could get your hands on a great player for pretty cheap. A bargain of the truest nature here, a player for under £100,000 playing in the Mexican First Division for Club America. It is Alvaro Fidalgo. Previously capped for the Spanish under-21 team, the 25-year-old Spaniard looks perfect in those mental areas, very well rounded with exceptional vision, passing and technique, a real creator who's going to cut through defences. I mean, those passing attributes for £1 million, they're so good. Good first touch and dribbling as well. That determination and flair also looking very nice. You can't go wrong for this kind of price, really. I do think he's a top draw player. In terms of quality compared to value, I think this guy might be the biggest bargain in this whole list. Into our final three players now, and we've got Pione Sisto, a Danish 27-year-old who has 26 caps for the national team, can play on either flank here, either left or right, but I think cutting inside on the right hand side to whip the ball in as an inverted winger would be perfect. Very good technical attributes, technique, dribbling, crossing, first touch, all at a really high level. He's quick and agile, his mentals will need some work, but you expect that though for a £2-3 million player. The chances are you're not getting no Lionel Messi world beaters, but he's certainly worth that money. I've seen wingers for 10-20 million who aren't as good as this guy in my eyes. He plays for FC Midfield out in the Danish first division, but I really do think he could play in a Premier League side, even if it was just as a backup, but still, Pion Sisto is a great talent for that price. Our final two players are both strikers, and this is a forgotten man in the world of football, Paco Al-Salsa, who plays for Sharjah out in the United Arab Emirates in their Pro League. This isn't a club I was aware of, but he has headed over there, and whilst his physicals are lacking a little bit, those mentals and those technicals are beyond belief for a player who can only cost you £5 million. I say he's a forgotten man because look at that goal record for Spain. Look at how many goals he got when he was playing in a good team with lots of service in Dortmund. That's 23 league goals in 37 league games. He then goes over to Villarreal and does okay, starts to do worse over the years and has now made his way out to the United Arab Emirates. But if you keep an eye on him for half a season or so, I think it might be worth bringing him to whatever club you're managing if you need a striker, even if just as a backup. Those mentals and technicals are so good, and he could definitely bag a bunch of goals for your side. It's our final player now, everyone, so thank you for watching and thank you for all of your support since the release of FM23 on the channel. And we have a Uruguayan 28-year-old striker by the name of Jonathan Rodriguez. Now, he can also play on the left-hand side, and maybe that's where he would be best. But for £5 million from Club America, you're getting a direct, pacey player who can finish, dribble, and has good first touch as well, while still being able to do the passing side of the game at a half-decent level. Maybe as an advanced forward, he could be perfect, and he is the final bargain of today's video. I'm not saying £5 million is cheap. Some of you guys will be in non-league teams with nowhere near that amount of money, but we're looking at players here who have X amount of current ability. It was actually 140 current ability, I believe, was our limit, who could also be signed for somewhere under £9-8 million. People who represent good value considering the player that we're seeing on screen. Thank you for joining us in this video. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.